the real message behind each attack? Do you understand the impact each message has for your security? In today's episode, all about successful attack understanding. Hello there, Yota Nicolaidou here, and welcome to an episode of your Security Boost, in which we demystify security and simplify protection for your personal and business valuable assets. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Thanks so much for tuning in. So today we are going to talk about what you can learn from the latest attack on McAfee's Twitter account. If you believe that someone is not professional enough if they got hacked, you are wrong. Today, I want to explain why and help you distinguish between the different factors related to cybersecurity and understand the real messages behind each successful attack. Each attack has a different impact on you. I am going to analyze for you today the messages you should be getting from the latest attack on McAfee's Twitter account. So with no further delays, let's start. Message number 1. Know the benefits and security drawbacks of each account you have. Social media companies are promoting a specific culture, that of connecting more people together, which is great. However, this connectivity comes with dangers because unfortunately we live in a world where cyber criminals exist. Do not expect social media companies to change their culture if it comes in contradiction with your security. You are the one who needs to take action by understanding the real value of each account you have based on the information included and deciding whether that risk worth it. Notice I said understand the real value because it derives from the perception of a cybercriminal who knows how to analyze the data of any account, find ways to connect them, and eventually hack the important accounts you have. I do expect that you understand the benefits and dangers each type of account has in order to take advantage of its benefits, yet still minimize the danger. This understanding is a great supporter of your security levels. So I'm not here to tell you to stop using social media. I'm here to convince you to learn how to use them correctly and isolate them as much as you can from your important data. Message number 2. Technological companies do not value your security and privacy. Their innovation is driven by sales. True innovation usually takes place at the startup stage of a technological company, where they plan their products for years to come. Thus, with the 2012 Internet of Things, which means everything got interconnected to the internet, the companies that were on the market longer find it more challenging to adapt and offer security and privacy to their clients. This is due to the fact that in order to do that, they have to start from scratch and be based on more secure hardware infrastructure, which at the moment do not exist. One of those examples are social media platforms, which by principle are completely against privacy and are definitely not doing much about security either. If already established, tech companies would step back and do that, meaning start investing in setting up proper security, they would stay behind competition for a period of time. Plus, they would face profit issues. Technology, though, is fired up by speed. So, for example, it would be utopic to expect social media companies to change their culture, which is connecting more people together, but they could improve their authentication methods. The whole message is to do what is in their power, as such technological giants have the power to demand even the redesign of a telecommunication infrastructure. The idea is that We have to do our best as consumers and citizens and collectively force companies and governments to arm us with better security infrastructure. Message number 3. Third party or supply chain is a serious problem in security. These are both fancy names for anything related to your security which is out of your control. When a new attack takes place, the last horse in the line takes the blame. In security circles, however, it is well known that with all the existing codependencies, our security is not based solely on us. Moreover, you need to know that the more codependencies you have, the higher the risk you will be hacked. And if you want to know more about what is in and out of your control, I have an article linked to this episode. Message number 4. High-profile people are under increasingly higher threat levels, especially security experts. A huge factor that affects your threat level is how valuable of a target you are for the cyber criminals. Security professionals have high value for hackers for 2 reasons. Reason number 1, the value of their clients. Security experts work with VIPs, politicians, governments, masses, you name it. Thus, by having access to them, theoretically, cyber criminals can have access to their clients. Reason number 2, they have much more to lose, which means their reputation. Technology sector is a tough sector to be in, and you need to be very strong stomach to survive here. Behind the shiny headlines and the millions or billions of dollars, there is reality, which pushes companies to stay ahead of the competition by speeding up the process of product to market and getting the best out there as fast as possible. It is also a nasty environment where corporate espionage thrives, and it is at the same level, if not more advanced in some cases, than even government espionage. Message number 5. Security experts get overexposed to protect you. At least take advantage of that. Security experts do not control the world or the internet. No matter how good they are, an attack can affect them too. With their increased value, they are one of the most tempting targets for criminals due to the factors I described in point 4. Additionally, in order to help you increase your security and privacy levels, they need to loosen their security a bit. Why? Because for you to trust them, you need to see who they are and have information about them. In order for them to give you that information and build your trust, they have to give up some of their own security. No serious security expert wants their bio out in the internet, their photos, information about where they are and when. When I say security experts, I do not refer only to cybersecurity, as there are many more specializations out there right now, from physical to hardware. Simply, they do not want social media accounts associated with them because they know that their habits and behaviors are the easiest to compromise. Not at all. They make this compromise because they value helping you more than their security. Having said that, they always take calculated risk in the process, and I say that from first-hand experience. Calculated risk means that they are careful what information they disclose, and they disconnect as much as they can their social media accounts from anything else. Just to make sure you are taking the right message here, how much a security expert will be affected depends on their abilities. Obviously, an attack to a social media account in comparison to an attack on their company where they have sensitive client, financial, and other data has a completely different weight and should be interpreted differently from you. Message number 6. Challenging authentication dynamics. Based on my experience, authentication is often ignored or not done properly. Even in the case of employing second-factor authentication as an additional way to check the identity of the user that wants to have access to a specific account, in the majority of cases, it is set up or offered incorrectly. Selecting the right way of second-factor authentication is an art. It is not enough to only have enabled any type of second-factor authentication, but instead to have the proper one for each case, and each case is completely different. Just to be clear, I'm not referring only to social media platforms, but to more important accounts as well, such as online banking, and this is based on my experience always. So second-factor authentication depends on the service provider, and in the majority of cases, if offered at all, it is not the proper one, or it is not employed and used correctly by its users. Message number 7. The approach to attack on a high-profile target is different from a mass attack. If you think a message to your phone as a second step of authentication can protect from an attack, it's not the case. True, this does not apply to general public, but rather to high-profile and valued targets where there is a different approach from cyber criminals, the so-called targeted attacks. Of course, you can never know when and why you can become valuable to a skillful hacker, right? One thing is certain, there are so many surfaces they can use to attack you, from your device's environment, to your physical environment, to the telecommunication towers which are triangulating your signal, meaning reading your location or intercepting, reading and or altering the message you receive, and are easily hacked, which was the case in the McAfee's Twitter account hack. Why? Because they were designed based on an outdated technology. And of course, let's not forget your habits and actions. They have a huge number of possible openings to find a vulnerability of a high-value target, and it's just a matter of time for a cybercriminal to achieve their attack goals. Just as a side note, the general public does not require so much effort from hackers. They trick you by taking advantage of your behaviors and habits. And finally, message number 8. Let's not forget your first factor authentication, which is your passwords. No matter how they can gain access to your second factor authentication, without your password, they cannot do much. That is why a strong password weight is gold for your protection. In summary, the next time you will hear about an attack, go through these 8 messages, and I'm certain that you will understand better each publicly announced attack. These messages will additionally help you evaluate your threat levels and better understand cybercriminals, what triggers them, how to minimize the threat, and eventually how to increase your protection environment. And let's have a tweetable. In order to receive the real message behind each attack, you need to understand the parameters and the impact of the attack. So I'm now turning it over to you. What do you understand about cyber attacks that are happening daily? What messages do you get? In what ways was this episode helpful to understand the real messages behind each attack you hear about? In order to give you your security boost, I need your feedback about your pain points, frustrations, problems, and issues related to security. So head over to the fantastic lounge of iotanikolaidu.com and leave a comment now. And while you are there, be sure to secure your place on our email list and become an insider. You are going to get access to some exclusive content, giveaways, and some updates that I do not talk about anywhere else. Remember, security is a thinking process. It is a state of mind. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will catch up with you on the next episode of Your Security Boost. Until the next time we connect, stay safe.